Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do always is start with putting your gloves on. That's most important. Above all, you got cross-contamination and things like that. You touch your face and then you touch a machine and then you tattoo a client and, it's safe. And I'll try my best not to touch my face. Though I do, this is just for demonstration purposes. So, all my machines are cleaned. I had an autoclave, but it has recently broke. It was used when I got it, so, and not all of my machines are autoclavable anyway. So, we're gonna get to this. Today we're looking at this. It's a very cheap machine. It was like 13 bucks. I actually got it on Walmart.com. And as shocking as that is, but it is a great little machine. It's a Dragonfly replica. It runs amazing, though. It really does. Now, I've tried to line with it, and it's just not, I'm sure people line with these things every day and love them, but it's just not my preference. But it is amazing for packing color and shading and stuff like that. So we're going to take a look at that, how to set it up. And we're also going to take a look at this coil machine. So if you don't get a look at that. And we're going to load it up and listen to it run without and with a needle. And the needles we're going to be using today, I'm not paid for this, by the way, so Ace should really look out for me on this. These are Ace Premium Tattoo Needles. It's a box of 50, and they are 18 round liners. I'm into a lot of tribal stuff, and a lot of the American traditional stuff has really thick, bold outlines, which I love very, very much. It's one of my favorite things to do. So these needles work great. They are really, really big needles. So we're going to take a look at that and stick some of them in these machines and see what we can do. Alright, now you're going to start. You need your little Allen wrench. If you have a machine, it most likely came with one of these. They give you 3 of them. You need the one that's in the middle. I'm not sure what size it actually is. Anyway, there's 2 little screws that pull this whole thing apart. Now, when you receive these, they're going to be just like this. The piece that you need is inside of it. You just take it out, and depending on how you like it in the machine, sorry, I dropped my key. Depending on how you like it in the machine, you can vary the depth of this thing. I don't like mine sticking out too much. It just really irritates me. I like my grip to be as close to the machine as possible, and I really don't like my tube sticking out very much either, so you got to find a happy medium between the two. Anyway, you stick that in and tighten it down. Now, as far as the needles go, we're going to take one, if I can get this thing open. Beautiful needles. Ace really has some great needles. These are huge needles, though. They make extremely big, bold outlines. It's best to have a jeweler's loupe. If you know what that is, it's a little magnifying glass. And to check these needles, always check them. I have literally never found a burr on any of these Ace needles. They're extremely great needles. But you always want to check that, because if you have a burr or a little nick, or sometimes they could be missing a needle, then you could really, really damage somebody. So we're going to take the needle with the eye, this little hole right here, should always, if you're looking at the needle in the machine, should be facing to the left, always. Now, some people say that needles come with them facing the other way. I have personally never seen one, but another way that you can tell which way you're supposed to put your needle is that your needle bar will be facing up, and your grouping of needles will be facing down. That's the way you always put them in. Now, you're going to want to take your needle and put a slight bend in it. Not much, just enough. And some people bend it more, some people bend it less. Mine's just a little bit of a bend. Actually needs a little bit more. And the reason for the bend is when you put the rubber bands are put on the machines, wrapped around the needle. I'll show you how we do that in a minute. The reason that they're put on like they are is to keep the needle from bouncing around in the end of the tube, slinging ink everywhere and jumping around when you're trying to tattoo. And if you don't bend it before you put it in, when you put the needle on, it's going to pull it back too far, and it's just not good. So now, when you put your needle in your tube, a lot of people, you don't want to bend it by clinging it around in there really bad, but it's really not going to hurt it that bad if it hits the side, as long as you're not jamming it in there. So we're going to stick this in here. We don't want to touch anything if possible. Alright, we are in. Okay, the one thing we have to have are these little guys right here. I've got many different kinds of them. These are really hard. I have some soft ones. These are nipples. And they go on the end of the armature bar. Or torture bar if it's on a rotary. Torture rack, whatever you'd like to call it. And we are going to stick. Some people put the nipple on the machine and then clip it on. I prefer to put my nipple on my needle. Alright, we are ready to go here. Okay, that is us. Click. Alright, now you want this needle, if you're beginning, you probably want this needle sticking out about 1 millimeter when the armature bar is compressed. When it's all the way down, hold it down and then adjust accordingly. I don't know if you guys can even see that, but I've barely got that needle sticking out the end of this. It's actually a little bit, there we go. Now when I tattoo, I don't work off of the tube anymore. I used to. I am currently working on how to work off of the tip of the needle, and I'm trying to stop riding the tube. Because if you work off the tip of the needle, you can actually stick that needle out way further. You just have to know, you have to be able to steadily hold your depth throughout the entire tattoo, which is really hard to do for a beginner, and it was for me. It still is for me. I'm learning, though, so anyway, that's where we're at with that. You're going to want to tighten this down. And you want to add your rubber band. As you can see, this is not in the center of this hole, and we would like it to be in the center of that hole as much as possible. So we're going to double wrap the rubber band, and now you can see, if you can see, we are now in the center of that hole. The rubber band is pushed back when it was sticking out. Okay. We're going to listen to it run, see how it sounds. That's how you set your machine up. Now, as far as tuning goes, we're going to do another video on tuning machines another day. I might have to tune this one just for the demonstration now to make it sound correct, but because I have it tuned without a needle in it, and I might have to adjust it a little once the needle's in it. So we're going to see how she sounds here at 5 volts. It's not what we want. I believe that's us right there. Now, we'll get into this more later, but this little screw right here, if you back it out, you can adjust this, which is your contact screw, sits on top of the armature bar. Okay, this is what gives you your power. You can adjust the power here, but you can also adjust the power on your power supply. I prefer to set my power supply low, 4 or 5 volts, and then adjust this to that, so that it's running at a lower voltage. It's less likely for it to overheat. So let's give it a try now that we've tightened back down. There it is. beautiful. That is a beautiful sound. I do love it. Okay. So there's that one. And that's how you set up a coil machine. And like I said in a later video, we'll get into how to tune your machine. It's really not that hard, although these do come with lots of maintenance and, you know, lots of tuning. If you get a really good machine, this one was like $25. If you get a really good machine, though, I'm talking, you know, 100, 200 bucks, you won't have to tune it quite as often, you know, but with these cheap ones, you tend to have to tune it sometimes in the middle of a tattoo, which really sucks. But if you're working on a budget, this, you know, this is a really good machine. I got it off of Amazon. I'm pretty sure it was about 25 bucks. It's a beautiful little machine, though. And it runs great. The only thing I did was change the springs, 18 gauge on the back, 20 on the front for lining. That's what I use it for. And this one I use for color packing. We're going to put a lining needle in it just for demonstration purposes today, though. Alright. And guys and gals, if I could get you to subscribe, click that notification bell, smash the like button, and please comment down below. I need feedback on this channel. I need views on this channel. I'd really like if everybody joined me on my journey to tattoo success. You know, I'm really trying to get there. I'm trying so hard. I'm so passionate about this. This is just what my life was meant to do. I mean, this is it for me. And I realized that watching a YouTube video. And I made a prison gun. I talked about this in an earlier video, and I just loved it. And in a later video also, we'll get into, I'll show you the guns that I made and where I actually started from. Alright, so we're going to take to the left the rod is on the top, the groupings are on the bottom, and we're going to slightly bend. Alright, beautiful. And we've already showed how to put these together. I have many of these. They're actually really nice. They're cheap. You can get like a pack of them, like 10 of them, for like 20 or 30 bucks. So you can't beat them. They're very easy to clean. I also have disposable ones. I would show them now, but we'll get into them in a later video. They're really good too. I usually use them on clients and stuff. I don't like to use these so much on a client because my autoclave has broken. I cannot clean them. I can only clean them, you know, by hand. So I've been just using them on myself and stuff. Anyway, our needle is in. We'll do that again just because. We are in. Alright, now, this little machine is a rotary. And it needs a different plug. It does take a clip cord, but I think that the RCA plugs give a more consistent power to any machine as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to use it for the demonstration. We'll plug the little feller up. He also has the clip cord connections, the binding posts on the back. So these machines, the coil machines, they also sell converters, RCA converters that you can mount. I actually have a couple. We'll do a video on that one day too. That you just mount them to the rear binding post and the top binding post, and you just plug it right up instead of using a clip cord. It makes it a lot quicker and easier. Some people like that. There's just something about using the clip cord on the coil machines that I really like. You know, it's I don't know, I really like it. Alright, let's listen to this little guy run. He's quiet as a mouse, so. That's at 6 volts. So, like I said, I paid 12 or 15 bucks for this machine. Does not need rubber bands. It has this little tensioner right here that actually tightens down on your needle and a little wheel that it sits on so that you don't have to use rubber bands. You have to be careful how much you tighten it down, though, because too much tension on the needle, just like with a coil, too much tension on the needle, you put too many rubber bands, you have to run it at a much higher voltage to get, you know, what you're looking for, and can overheat your machine, especially if it's a cheap one. So Let's unplug that. Let's get this needle put in it. Loosen up your vise. Actually, we need a nipple. Get in there, little feller. Alright. So, anyway, we're going to clip that on. Adjust your depth as you wish. My rotary is actually in the down position on the stroke already, so we're going to set it where I want it. Tighten that little guy down. And so that's why a lot of people like these rotaries. They're just a lot easier. Isn't that a beautiful machine? I really like that. It's all in black too. I picked the right one for it. Anyway, and then if we can get up close on this, you just tighten this down until it takes the little bit of bend that's in that needle out of it and keeps it from bouncing around. Alright, let's plug it up. Still at 6 volts. Now, that's nice. Let's turn it up. Alright, we're running at 8 volts. She's wide open. So, it actually has a lot of give to it. I mean, it hits very similar to a coil machine, which is what most of these companies are trying to do with rotaries. You know, is they're trying to make them hit. I have some that we'll get into later that they're trying to make them hit like a coil machine, and they're not. You know, coil machines have a very distinct hit to them. They're I really like. In the beginning, I was loyal to the coil, no doubt about it. But I bought a cheap rotary. After I bought several of these, I bought one, and it came, and I tried it, and I fell in love with it. You know, I've got 40-some machines, and it replaced every machine that I have. I use it for everything. You know, sometimes I go back to my coils just because I love to use them. I like to switch it up, you know. But this rotary is absolutely amazing. We're going to get into it soon. I'm saving the best for last. So, you know, you guys stick to watching these videos. If you're learning anything, let me know down below. If there's any questions you have, if there's things I forgot, if there's something you think I'm doing wrong, do not be afraid to criticize. Do not be afraid to let me know. As I said before, I'm new at this, and I really, really want to learn. So if you have some knowledge you can share with me, as I'm doing with you, please, by all means, do. I also bought these grips off of Amazon, and they are squishy little things. I love them, though. These little things here, they're just, it's slippery. It's not really good for tattooing by itself. So we just slide this little thing on here like this. Normally I would have put this on before, but anyway, this thing makes for a lot better grip, you know. So, and when I'm tattooing, my middle finger is my main point of focus. That's the, you know, your hands on, and the middle finger is usually what's guiding the depth of my needle. That's how I'm learning to work off the tip of the needle instead of just setting the tube on the skin and riding the tube. I'm getting a lot better at it. I'm practicing it on myself, on my clients. I'm still riding the tube on them because a couple times I have went a little deep, or maybe I just overworked the skin. Not badly, but it scabbed a little more than I would have liked. I actually, my last tattoo had no scabbing, slight peeling, which is perfectly normal. And some people do scab. Some people's bodies react different to either the inks or just the trauma to the skin in general. So yeah, I mean, this last tattoo I did, I posted it on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. You can check me out there. It's Kenneth Durham, Last Chance Tattoo. Also, check me out there, and you know, you can see some of the work that I've been doing. You can see drawings that I'm working on, which we're going to do some drawings on the channel here too. Anyway, I really hope you guys liked the video. I guess that's about it for this time. If there's any questions that you guys have, please ask. I'm not getting many comments, And I know it's a really new channel, so that's maybe why, but I would really like to hear from everybody. So please, please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload videos. And smash that like button. Just crush it. Alright, thanks guys. I hope to see you soon. I'll be uploading another video tomorrow. Not sure what it's going to be on just yet. And in between my videos, I do a little vlogging about how I'm feeling about things. So, just stay tuned and stay updated. And thank you. I appreciate everybody's support. And God bless.